Hello and welcome to Bottoms Down, Chair Yoga for Everyone. I'm Carolyn. I'm so glad you're checking us out. Just saying the word yoga can freak some people out. You have this image of yogis in pretzel pose like you see on magazine covers. And others see the words chair yoga and think, that's just for silver-haired women. Okay, guilty as charged, but I'm here to tell you that's not what Bottoms Down is all about. So I've been teaching mat yoga for years, and as participants would move in and out of my classes, I sometimes would ask, why did you leave? I got an interesting number of answers. So some people had injuries, wrist, shoulder, hip, knees, that kind of thing, and they felt like mat yoga was no longer for them. So others put on pounds and no longer felt comfortable getting on the floor. Some had aged and could get onto the floor but couldn't get back up. Others were office workers who really didn't want to take the time. Maybe it's a lunch class and they have to change clothes and go to the class and then redress. And, so they just got me thinking about chair yoga. And some years ago, I went through training and began teaching chair yoga, and I love it. I love it so much that I want to share it with more people, because I think it's such a great way to move our bodies, create space in our bodies, and anyone can do it. So how exactly does chair yoga work? Now, if you're brand new to yoga, there's a few basic principles upon which yoga is based. So there's asanas, and these are the body movements, also known as poses. There's the pranayama, which is the breath. And then there's that concentration or focus. So in yoga, we connect all three of these to create what we refer to as a yoga practice. So in each Bottoms Down class, we begin with a moment of quiet introspection, or meditation, if you will, along with some breathing exercises. This lasts about 5 minutes, and it's important as we connect our body, mind, and breath. So our body's that physical aspect of yoga, the movements, right? Using our muscles. The mind is the focus, the concentration. And this is how we make our movements purposeful. Then the breath provides the fuel for those movements. So let's talk a little bit about those body movements or poses. So yoga poses are intended to help us strengthen and lengthen our bodies. And I know this can be intimidating, and I hear from folks, many men who say, I'm just not flexible. I can't do yoga. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can. And the chair helps a lot. So think of the chair as a tool, just like a yoga block or a yoga strap. So the block is used in yoga to help us bring that floor up closer to us, right? And the strap is used as an extension of our arms. The chair simply provides a tool. It helps you move in and out of the exact same poses used in mat yoga, but just not having to get on the floor. Yoga also helps us strengthen our bodies. So as we hold poses longer, building up the heat in those muscles and building up that strength, the chair is here for us for support. So you have the confidence of knowing you can grab it anytime to provide that additional support. So there's a class I developed where we start in a pose called crescent lunge on the chair. Then we slip our hips off the chair to do an add-on, as I call it, and we have that chair there that lets you give that a try. And if it works, good for you. But you also know that you can slip your hips right back on that chair, and it's truly a freeing, and it's very confidence building. So another reason people gravitate towards chair yoga is injuries. So I have a good friend who has this nagging hip injury that bothers her so much that she had to give up her mat yoga. And believe me, she was a dedicated yogi for many years. So we were talking one day, and I suggested, why don't you give Bottoms Down a try? And I could tell she was resistive, I think she was thinking, it's not for me, I used to do mat yoga, and what can chair yoga possibly offer me? But eventually she gave it a try, and I want to read you a couple of texts she sent me. She said, I did bottoms down hip stretch class this morning. It was great, but boy, do I have a long way to go. Then a few days later, she said, I just finished my 3rd yoga practice this week. Gosh, how I've missed this, and I didn't even realize how much. It makes me happy to think that she's getting some much needed relief, just like you can. So if you're still with me, something has spoken to your heart, and you're obviously interested in bottoms down. So I want to give you a lay of the land, kind of that, lay of the land, if you will, of the Bottoms Down YouTube channel. So I've organized my classes in various ways. One of the ways is by body area. So if you have a particular area that's bothering you, or maybe you want to strengthen it, you can pick those specific classes. Or if you only have 20 minutes today, you can choose a class by length of time. If you want to stay seated the entire time, there's classes for that. Or if you're feeling sassy and you want to stand the majority of the time, you would choose the some seated, more standing classes. Or you can focus on one of my themed classes like Joyful or Self-Love. We've posted over 130 videos to date, with more coming every week. There is something for everyone. So join the movement, the chair yoga movement. It's becoming more and more popular and is the fitness industry's new up-and-coming darling. You might not realize it, but chair yoga has been around since 1982, and it's finally coming into its own. So I want you to know that I'm thrilled you're here. And everyone can be successful. Just showing up, sitting in your chair, and connecting to your breath is success. No pressure, no worries. We're all in this together. So grab a chair, pick a class, and let's get started.